asked all of you if anybody had a question for me. It could be literally anything from GS to IRL, it didn't matter. And we wind up getting quite a few comments on this, up to 72, so we're going to try to get through all of them today. And by the way, y'all should know, if it's a Q&A video, the thumbnails and titles are always crazy. I'd love to see your thought process behind editing. Like what makes you put certain stock images where, how you plan them, and or some YouTube tips. I of course do make videos, but I love your editing style and I wish I could edit more like your videos, but it's so hard. When it comes to my editing style, what thought process I have, it depends on what video I'm making. So one of my best performing videos recently was the top gachas of all time. That video had a completely different editing process than any other video that I've made on the channel. For one, it had a scripting phase, it had a just gathering phase where I was getting all of the different gameplays and everything else that I would be using in the video. It had the recording phase, which was me actually doing the commentary, which I did 2 or 3 times. And then finally, it was chopping up that raw audio and then putting in all of the extra stuff at the end, like the gameplay, the edits, the glow effects, all that type of stuff was added literally at the last step. But for a regular like GS video or just like a first impressions video, whatever I might be doing, I think of stock images and stuff that I use or any kind of meme or whatever. If I had a green screen, this is where I would want to put me right now saying something or doing something. Because I do eventually want to get into like the green screen realm and be able to pop up and talk about specific things and whatever, because I think it would be really cool. But that's what I use like the images and stuff for, to convey how I'm feeling, you know, my emotions through a visual perspective and not just audio. I did this recently in the gacha video. I also not only used imagery, but I used music. A lot of the music in that video, I used very bittersweet or sad stuff to evoke emotion at certain parts, because I wanted certain parts to feel very heartfelt. So, you know, there's stuff like that. It's definitely breaking it down more to, I guess, a science, and it's just something that you acquire over time. To you, what sets GS apart from other gacha games? I guess the gameplay. The gameplay would be like the thing that kind of helps, even though it's more of like an idle auto RPG, whatever you want to call it, and the systems, like all the progression systems, compared to everything else that's out right now that is just I don't really like talking about. If you were to make your own story challenge boss, what would the mechanics or gimmicks be, and what would be the lore behind it? Dude, you're asking me to write like a whole 6-page essay. I think I would have, like, just on a very basic level, a Simon Says kind of boss. So you get into the fight, it's like some godly being that we've never fought before, maybe like someone who's above Marzex and like the gods or something. You have to copy exactly what he says, or like whatever rule he puts onto the team has to follow that rule. So let's say like it could be something simple where like only light units do damage right now. The next one is like only equips do damage. The floor is burning, but only the water will save you. And maybe with that, it's like if you had a water unit on your team, you could use the water unit's skill, and whenever you used its skill, it would do like a splash effect onto the whole team and it would cleanse it. But I would make something along those lines. GS gets an into service tomorrow. What direction do you see your channel going? Just gacha games. Some of my best videos on the channel are not GS videos. They are all usually other gacha games or TCGs. So yeah, I'll just go more into that gacha sphere even more, which we are slowly starting to integrate more and more gacha games, because I don't just want GS to be the only thing. I really want to show that I'm interested in all these other games as well. Even though I like how long of a video of yours takes to record and edit and everything else, I'd probably be more interested in which collab character you'd recommend in the future. Among all the collab reruns, which one to always keep an eye on? I mean, technically I've already did this with the Who to Save For videos like every year. I just recently updated it because Hoka got announced in JP. Nowadays it would just be mainly Hoka. Yeah, I got you. It's a 5, 5, 3, 4, 6, 7. Is it worth learning editing and thumbnail design yourself or paying a reliable source? And what's the best software for beginners and experienced creators? Do you have interest in it? Do you think that it's a worthy skill for you? Do you want to become a YouTuber or an editor? If you answered yes, then I think you should probably do it. Paying a reliable source, unless you actually have a lot of income, stuff is really hard nowadays. Because eventually, if you do, let's say, get really big and you hire someone, you can talk to them a bit more about certain things. You would know like certain terminologies, certain styles, all that kind of stuff. So you would really be able to craft the video that you wanted. When it comes to like the best software to use for beginners, I would say DaVinci for editing is like god tier. I use the free version of DaVinci. Every single video you see on this channel, all the editing, all the craziness, everything that I do is through DaVinci. When it comes to like thumbnails and stuff, I think hands down Photoshop is the best, but there's probably another really solid graphics design one out there that you can maybe get for free or a bit cheaper. But yeah, definitely Photoshop would be my go-to for thumbnails, and then DaVinci for editing. I appreciate the enthusiasm and, you know, you wanting to learn the game, but Jesus Christ, you're asking like 4 questions in just this one little paragraph, I guess you would say. And it's kind of hard to follow with like how everything's laid out. Current team being Fearon, Miranda, Fern, and Hart. It's pretty solid. Everybody on that team works together. When it comes to like any of the other characters that you're using, I'm assuming that you're doing Summoner's Row. That's why you need a second and third team. For stage 1, you always just go with whatever your highest luck units are. So that would be really good. And then stage 2 depends on the fight that you're doing. Definitely make use of Summer Leon. She's really good as a Archgener. Don't forget about using Sandstone. She's great. Finn's really good as an Archgener as well. Joker Celia. Yeah, I saw that you have Joker Celia. Definitely. She's another character that you should probably use from time to time too. And then which banner should you aim for? Check out the Who to Save For video. If you could change one thing about the game, what would it be? Probably the guaranteed paid multis. I would just make it to where everybody has guaranteed 5 stars. Do you plan on finishing / making the Grand Summoners timeline video? Absolutely not. Maybe that would be like my final video on GS or something like that, but for the most part, no. I don't see myself ever making that because the timeline is very convoluted, and I would need to talk to probably like 4 or 5 people as I'm making this and working alongside them to make sure that we get everything as concise and lined up as possible. Favorite unit to use right now? It's probably still Jay. What kept you playing GS? Crossovers, summons, overall fun, etc. Mainly YouTube. YouTube is the main reason that I've stuck around for so long because I just love making videos and editing and creating stuff. Apart from that, I would say probably crossovers maybe, or new game modes. Like I love the Mines and Grand Crusade are dope. Definitely the modes, if it were not taught specifically YouTube. One of the best characters in existence, like in the history of GS, it has to be Mako. If you played GS like since the beginning, Mako was the one that was the most impressive. She had the entire game support meta on lock for like 4 or 5 years. As a new player, can you just explain how the Archgen thing works? Is it good to let the game auto-pick your units, or no? I'm just having a hard time like getting or understanding most of the great units in this game. For the most part, Archgen just works like this. We have a unit in Group A. You have another unit in Group A. These 2 units will not stack with each other because they belong to the same Archgen group. In order for Archgen to stack with each other, and this is specifically Overtime Archgen, for Burst Archgen it does not matter. For Overtime Archgen though, you need the characters to be in different groups. That's all that matters when it comes to that. And you can see this in game now. If you go in game, you can go to tags, and I think it's Archgen or something like that. I'll put it up on screen, and you can actually filter to what Archgen group that you want to look for. So if you see 2 characters that you want to use in the same group, just know that they will not work. Are you going to do Master Duel content again? On one of the previous vids, you mentioned something about a certain type of content coming back and leaving some hints on one of your videos where there was Master Duel music. I'm just curious because I found you through Master Duel content and you happen to play the same gacha games I do, so I stuck around a few years ago. I used your Prank Kids deck before the meta got too crazy for Prank Kids. Yeah, I do actually want to go back to making Master Duel content. I am working on a video right now. I've just gotta decide on what deck I'm gonna do this video with, but definitely stay tuned. We're gonna be having live streams with Master Duel again. We're gonna be having a few videos come out here and there, and we are gonna try to incorporate more Yu-Gi-Oh stuff onto the channel once more. What are your top 5 music artists and top 5 bands if you're into rock and roll? I'm gonna be honest, I'm probably gonna give you more than 5, but I'm gonna tell you like who I think are, to me, like these are my go-tos right now. Keshi, definitely. I'm surprised more people don't listen to him. If you're into more chill beats, just kind of like vibes types of music, Keshi is amazing for that. Joji, kind of the same reason as Keshi. He's incredible. It's just Joji hasn't made a freaking album in years. 3 is Logic because I've just adored his music whenever I was in high school and even like early adulthood. Nowadays, I don't really listen to his music too much because a lot of his new stuff I don't really like. I will say that his Ultra 85 album was incredible. Mac Miller, wish he was still around, and his music is just incredible. 5 is Bring Me the Horizon. They've been like my go-to metal band forever. 6 would be Sleep Token because that new album freaking slaps. Some of the indie artists I listen to, like 2022, that man deserves so much more listeners than what he has. Gunboy Cause, love me some Gunboy Cause. And I gotta throw Fall Out Boy in there. I know that went over 5, but I gotta throw Fall Out Boy in there too. They were my goats, man. Best teams to defeat in-game content without having Hoka, Farron, or these broken characters from the Fate collab. That's like 30 units you just counted out. There's not really a best team because a lot of bosses have different mechanics and gimmicks that you have to play around. I would say just make sure the team covers a lot of bases. Make sure you have good arch gen, some damage mitigation, and a character that's able to hold their own DPS wise so they can like push the boss down through different thresholds. What made you eventually want to start creating content for GS? So I found the game one night while I was playing Dissidia and I got bored because I did all the content currently in Dissidia Opera Omnia. So I saw GS and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try this. I tried it out, really liked it, and then I was like, you know, I'm going to make a video on it and see how it does. Made a video and it was my first video ever that hit like 2,000 views, which I thought was completely crazy. I've never had that happen before. And then I just kind of kept going from there. How long does it take to edit / make each of your showcase videos? It depends on what all I'm doing in the showcase. I would say between recording, between chopping up the initial video, then finally adding all the final touches, it takes anywhere from 4 to 6 hours on one showcase video. Have you experienced burnout with Grand Summoners? Hello, Goku Black. Yes, I have. I have experienced burnout, even though people will be like, oh yeah, OP doesn't get burned out at all because he's always making GS stuff here and there. But yeah, I definitely have faced burnout from time to time with GS, and it was mainly because I was forcing a lot of stuff. Like I would force a lot of content and try to get videos out because for some reason I just believe that you need a video out every single day of the week, which isn't necessarily true. I really only try to upload during the week, or I would try to only go for like 3 to 4 videos a week. If I can hit that, then I'm good. That was like one reason why I got burnt out playing GS, because after making content on it, you know, playing the game and everything, you log a lot of hours just talking about this one topic and you kind of have to tackle it from a different perspective. That's kind of like why we're starting to do a lot more gacha game stuff and not just GS stuff. We are starting to slowly move away from just being a GS only channel and being more of just a gacha game channel like how we were back in like 2022. Like we did a lot of other stuff like Fate, BBS. We did some Genshin here and there whenever it first released. Like we did a lot of different stuff back then. So I kind of want to get back to that point. What are your hobbies outside of GS and YouTube, and why do you still play the game to this day? We'll answer the last one because that's pretty easy. The main reason why I play the game is just because of YouTube. Whenever new stuff comes out, I can make discussion videos. I can talk about different topics, and it's really fun doing that. And I definitely enjoy, you know, being able to help other people understand the game. I think that's the big thing I like. I love teaching people. When it comes to hobbies outside of that though, I love playing video games with other people too. So I play a lot of games with like Sleepy or Collins. I play games with my girlfriend who lives with me, and we play stuff from like Pikmin to Cat Quest to Kirby, just a ton of different games that we want to try. We also watch a bunch of movies and stuff, and I love reading. I recently got back into reading like last year. I've started to pick up reading here and there. I don't read as much as I would like because I just don't have enough time, but some of the books that I've read recently include like comics from like Watchmen to an actual novel, which is like The Folk of the Air. I think that's what the series is called, but it's The Wicked King. Or wait, is the first one The Wicked King or is the Crown Prince? It's this book here. It's these series. I always get the names mixed up on like which one's 1, 2, and 3. But I've read the first one. I'm like halfway through the second one right now, and those books are great. I've loved them. So I'm kind of into a little bit of everything. And the last thing that I would say is that I love going for runs and walks as well. Getting out into nature, just kind of going for a walk, clearing your mind, talking, chilling, having a good time. I love that. It's just been way too hot to do it. But ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this Q&A. We'll do this again probably next year, but of course, if you ever have a question, you can always just come down to my live streams and ask me there. By the way, talking about a live stream, tomorrow we should be doing our first live stream on Love and Deep Space. Yeah, you heard me right. So if that sounds crazy, fun, interesting to you, come check it out, because I don't think I'm going to be enjoying this too much. Either way, though, thank you all again. And last but not least, you guys already know, don't forget to drink water.